Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's August. It's the end of August. It's been like a really long, fast summer. I don't know if that makes sense or if anyone else can relate to that, but that's what it's been for me. So the fact that I'm here at all is always a win. If you recall, back when I started this series in January, you might remember that I kind of anticipated that this might happen at some point, whether that means in the middle or whatever, might be a little bit later in their month as opposed to being towards the end. But things all happen for a reason. And we give ourselves grace, right? Because what can you do about it? Why get upset? So here we are. It's August 26th. Ironically, we kind of did last month also around this time. That was January 23rd. So if you've been following along, now you know where we are in time. Although, as a reminder, no matter when you enjoy this series, you can do it anytime. So, whether you are just finding this now or you're finding it in the future, even though I'm doing these by month, you could technically start it any month. You could hand pick and choose which ones you liked better to do in the order that you prefer. There's no rules. So, and actually, if you make up your own rules, maybe leave a comment. I'd be curious to see what you do different. Okay, so welcome back. Here's the show. This is our monthly knitspiration, I say sometimes, although it can certainly apply to any craft. And so today we are going to open our August envelope, even if it's a little late, so that we can see what might inspire us, and we can also reflect on what's already happened in the month to see how these items might already apply to what's happening. But before we do, let's just take a quick moment to review what happened in July. So, sorry, I moved everything. Here we go. All right, let's remember what happened in July. Okay, we had, for our tarot card, we had the Chariot. For our doodle, we had these spell bats. And then for our color, we had aquamarine. Very pretty. This is UU Yarns, Fluffy Fingering. And then our spell card was Mercury Mist. So a month very much wanting us to perhaps center around communication, whether that's communication in maybe new ways, like the bats lead us to believe, like we don't, echolocate, radar, whatever it is that, bats use to see things. So maybe we needed to communicate in ways that were different or maybe more like subtle, right? And to move in perhaps to change or seeing things from a different perspective. So how did that reflect for you in July? I, for one, was very surprised. Well, not, I guess, too surprised. I was planning for it, but happy, I guess. I was happy to say that I finally achieved a goal, which was updating my laptop system. So for me, a lot of these items now make sense because communication, which was a big theme last month, is so much easier now. You get a 10-year-old laptop replacement and your whole life changes. So that has been amazing and has been making doing these videos so much more enjoyable. So in September, which again is just days away, I look forward to being much more on top of things with video-wise because it is now a lot easier to do this. And we can do it maybe in a faster, more timely fashion. So hurrah. So now let's look at August and see where, like, I don't know if you have like a life pattern that you've noticed, but for me, it seems like I have this yearly thing where the summers are really busy, sometimes chaotic, not always pleasant. And then like around August, September, usually around my birthday, things sort of like break up, finish, resolve or whatever. And then like the end of September and October are when things like get a lot more calm and more manageable. I don't know. That's just me. So if you are like that too, I'd be very curious to know. Okay, August. Let's take a look at you. Why don't we? Ooh, September is special because it's my birthday month. That's next month in a couple of days. Maybe I'll record that one ahead so that we're not so behind. Okay, let's take a look. This is a good time to remind yourself of your intention for the year, if you have one. I changed mine mid-year to I craft like crazy because I was really trying to like make more things. Sometimes you have to force yourself to make things in order to like re-stoke your fire and get back into like a higher frequency there. Oop, hold on one second. Let's see here what we got. Okay, so for our tarot card, we have the Four of Cups. And then for our doodle, we have a spell book, grimoire. Just a book. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay, camera, calm down. Then for our color, we have number 53, forest fern. So pretty. I have a top made in this color, in the berry color. Oh, so stunning. And then finally, actually pretty interesting going into the fall here. We have our spell card is ancestors. Okay, so this says honor your ancestors by setting up a shrine for them during Sam. I was joking, say it's Sam Hain season. That's an old episode of my podcast that you could go and see. But anyway, so yes, you can celebrate spooky season by setting up your ancestral altar, or if you already have one, it's a great time to revamp it, clean it really good, maybe leave new offerings. Maybe there's people who have joined the altar this year who, could use a little extra like help getting along. So, okay, so that was fun. And now don't get them mixed up with July, me. Don't do that. Okay, so here it is. Let's try to put the pieces together a little bit. All right, if we're crafting like crazy, then perhaps one thing we need to remember if we're in a bit of a slump like me is don't discount something that you already have in the works. So Four of Cups is often the card of, I call it meh. So like, meh, I don't know what to do. Meh, too many options, not enough options. I don't know. This one is like, there's a clear option. It might be right in front of you. Don't discount it. So maybe you need to just like finish one of these 4 projects that you've had in the works for a while to sort of reboost your creative energy, which would kind of make sense with this doodle. So sometimes what re-inspires you is re-looking at the pattern, right? Sometimes I'm not finishing a project because I'm not entirely sure where the hell I am in the project. And so re-looking at the pattern will take away the like, oh, I don't know where I am and will I be able to figure it out? Like just look and see if you can figure it out. Probably you can figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, maybe rip them out, right? Or like restart it or ask a friend to help you, perhaps see where you are. This forest fern is a very grounding color, but it's also green. And since we're going into a more fall season, you would think that like growth is sort of like counterproductive, but this is like the growth season. We are entering into August, our first like berry harvest. Then there will be September into more of like the bigger harvesting. And then of course we get into Samhain, which is our, the meat harvest. And so the blood. So we're still growing things. So this could be a really great time to start maybe not start a new project, but invest in learning something a little bit more about your craft. So a good time to look into a book, perhaps, and see a little skill that you've been like, oh, I think I would like to learn how to do brioche knitting. And then I am going to do that scarf that has it as part of it. And you'll feel really good. You will grow your knowledge by literally growing your skill set. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, if you need extra inspiration this month, look towards the ancestors. Sometimes if you're in like a slump or you're needing some inspiration, looking at what other people have made in the past is really a great way to do so. My grandma was a crocheter and a knitter. My other grandma was a big sewer. So I often will go and look at our old crocheted baby blankets that she made us that we still have, even with all the holes and the acrylic yarn that there was available back then. It's like very nostalgic. Um, and I often think like, people don't like make those blanket patterns as much anymore. And so, you know, maybe a blanket's on your horizon this month, or maybe it's just a project inspired by something that one of your family line, an heirloom, has been left to you. And now you're like, oh, actually, I would like to figure out how to crochet, right? Or whatever that craft was. So perhaps you're going to get a little quilting in. A lot of our crafts go well with our other crafts, which is why many of us are multi-crafters. So don't be afraid to mix and match crafts as we transition from summer into fall this month and into September. Okay, let's look at some questions that you might want to reflect on as we go through this month and into September. So take note. These are good journal prompt questions if you're into that kind of thing. And if you're not, these you can just mull them over. What from July is still on my mind? Maybe it's a project you've been working on. Maybe it's one that you haven't been working on and you're like, ooh, I should be working on that. Maybe it's something new that you're excited to start over the weekend. What is it? Okay, next question. What is one idea from August's envelope that I want to explore more deeply? So perhaps one of these items has now given you an intuitive spark. Oftentimes, that's just the first thing that comes to your mind. It doesn't have to like be a huge miracle, like lightning bolt moment. Sometimes just the little thoughts are what is really your intuition whispering to you. And then finally, what is one thing I want to make, explore, finish, or change before the end of August? Which I realize, again, is short, but hey, sometimes it's good to have a timeline. If you just had this weekend to finish something, what could you finish? Okay. And now, to conclude our session, we're going to do a pattern pull. And okay, so I don't currently have anyone here live, so wah wah. I guess we won't be giving one away. However, instead, I will give a pattern, one free pattern, whatever I end up picking here in a second, to the first person who leaves a comment on this video. So it doesn't matter if you're watching live, just the first comment that's left. If you want this pattern that I'm about to pull, leave a comment and I will gift it to your Ravelry. So also maybe put your Ravelry name on there, or I can reach out to you and we can do it on the side, either way. Okay. Let's do the pattern pull. If you don't know, these are all of my patterns and I've made them into like a little Oracle card deck. So we're going to pick one and see what we can gather from that. If you're looking for a project to make this weekend, maybe it's this one. Let's see. Oh, okay. Is, the witch way beanie. Witch as in she's a witch. She put a spell on you. Named because you can wear it two different ways. There is a slouchy version of the hat and then a more like short fitted cap style. So you get to choose which way you want to make it. Ha ha ha. You could also make both. So it's really two patterns in one. It's a great quick knit, bulky yarn that it uses, which I realize is like not a thing that a lot of people knit with or craft with right now. If you're a fan of bulky yarn, let me know what you're making with it and what your favorite one is, because there's really not a lot out there right now. UU Yarns has a bulky, but like outside of that, where is it? So Witch Way beanie. Now, If you would like a copy of this pattern, please leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite bulky yarn is, maybe that you would like to make this yarn out of, and then it will be in your hands. So I hope that you enjoyed this as always. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps. It's free, and you will be all caught up and get notifications when more of these videos come out, plus my Knit News Now, plus Knit a Spell, plus all those other fun things that I do. So if you're a fan, it's a great way to show your support. Until next time, which won't be very long, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Merry Make!